Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hello Spring podcast, where we dive deep into the vibrant worlds of creators, dreamers, and storytellers. Today's guest is someone whose Sims might be chaotic, but their creativity completely intentional. We're joined by the one and the only Nardvillain, a dynamic content creator known for their viral skits, immersive storytelling, and their signature sinister deg we all know and love. From Twitch streams that spiral into hilarity, to winning hearts on TikTok as the fan-voted funniest Sims creator, and even co-hosting the Sims 25th anniversary 25-hour livestream. Nard has done it all. We'll be talking about their creative process, the highs and the lows of content creation, building a brand in the Sims community, and even what the future holds outside of YouTube. So grab your plum bob, whatever color it is today, and let's get into it. Hello, Nardvillain. Welcome to the Hello Spring podcast. I'm so excited to have you on for season 2. It's going to be so exciting because you're a creator, I'm a creator, and we can just chat and have a good time. And we're really good friends. I've known you for a very long time. But for those who may not know you yet, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about the name Nardvillain and where it comes from?
Hello, y'all. So, thanks for having me. Like, I'm honored. I'm seriously honored to be on your next season of creators that you're going to interview. Because I've been actually listening to your podcast for quite a while now. So when as soon as you told me you were bringing it back, I was like super stoked. Yeah, congratulations for bringing it back. For
Thank
those who don't
you.
know who I am, I go by Nardvillain. I've been a Sims 4 content creator for the past 5 years now. And when coming up with the name Nardvillain, I was kind of thinking of not necessarily a name for just Sims 4 content, but I was thinking of having a name for just my gaming. Because a lot of people don't know that I come from another background of content creating, because I've been content creating for I honestly want to say like 20 years now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so I started out, with music. I had a podcast, and then I branched out from podcasting to producing content around hospitality, where I meet a bunch of foodies, chefs, bartenders. So when it comes to the naming convention, I was like, well, I'm naming everything Nard, something with Nard in it. So my music podcast was called Nardcast. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, well, I can't use that for my video gaming content. And then I used Nard Eats for all my foodie stuff. And
Ooh.
then Nard's kitchen, and then Nard's neighborhood. So I was like, the best thing I think I could come up with is more of a sinister approach to gaming. So I was like, well, I could go with Nardvillain and just do like maybe some sinister style content, utilizing some of my favorite games. And obviously, The Sims is one of my favorite games. So I went with that. Plus, I'm a huge MF Doom fan. It's a hip hop artist, rest in peace. And
Mm.
one of his albums is Mad Villain, which is also a collab between MF Doom and a producer, Madlib. So put
Mm.
those two together, you get Mad Villain. So that's what I wanted to do, since I've been doing collaborations with my name in other different types of niches like podcasting. So I went with Nardcast, and then with my gaming, I went with Nardvillain. Just to pay homage to one of my favorite producers and one of my favorite hip hop artists, MF Doom. So that's pretty much where the name came from. And out of all honesty, I am a huge fan of villains. So I guess keeping with that niche as well, I figured Nardvillain would be totally fitting for that niche as well. So that's pretty much how I came up with Nardvillain.
Really like that. I like or I always like understanding the origin story about like a username and
Hmm.
where it comes from, because sometimes they are like a deeper meaning, or sometimes they're just like, I like this and I like that, and there it is. But you made it very like specific, and
Hmm.
it was very memorable, and
Hmm.
people remember the name so easily. So I like that. And I actually found your channel like just randomly. It wasn't YouTube, it was actually just randomly on TikTok. So when I found like Narv, I'm like, oh wait, another Sims creator? I'm
Yes.
all for it. I'm here for it. I love how very sinister your content is. And this was kind of like in the height of like the pandemic and everything,
Mhm.
and like short form content was really taking a really big push on all platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and all the places. But when you first started making like content, like did you ever imagine you would have ever like gotten to where you are now? Like,
Woof, never. When I started in 2020, I just wanted an outlet. I was like, okay, well, I have the name Nardvillain, which fun fact, going back to your first question, I was using Nardvillain as my personal Instagram account name for like years before I decided to actually name my gaming channel Nardvillain. So I
okay,
forgot to mention that.
branding.
All right. So I've been using Nardvillain for quite a bit now that I think about it. Before I actually started doing gaming. Yeah, honestly, I just wanted an outlet because as I mentioned, I was just doing a lot of content around food. A lot of content around like going to restaurants and going to openings here in town and producing content around bartending and showcasing chefs, putting together some of their signature dishes for that restaurant to the point where when the pandemic happened, I couldn't go to restaurants anymore. So I had
Yeah.
all this creativity built up, like just brewing inside where it was like, man, I'm stuck at home. I can't go out to restaurants anymore. I'm feeling irrelevant because I feel like I can't contribute and give contribution to a community I've built for over the years with the food content. So, I was like, well, I guess what I could do. I love The Sims. I love creating my own stories. How about I kinda just show that to the community? I didn't think I was gonna grow, I didn't think that I was gonna, get big or anything, so I just started doing, like, Let's Plays. I had my own, version of a pandemic Let's Play, so I put that yeah, I put that together on YouTube. So I actually started out doing long form before I went over and started doing, short form. So
Mm.
so then I understood the algorithm too because I was content creating for like, I don't know, 15 years prior. So I knew I had, if I wanted to get any reach with my Let's Plays, I have to still do some search based content, like my favorite game packs or my favorite expansion packs or whatever. So I try to push those out as well, just in hopes to get some impressions on some of my Let's Plays. And yeah, and I branched out from Let's Plays to doing shorts and just being me, just being silly and unaliving Sims and being sinister about it. And before you know it, like not just YouTube, but TikTok like kind of blew up one of my videos. Actually several videos. And yeah, and the good thing about those videos that blew up, it actually represented my brand. So I was very fortunate that a video that blew up was actually how all my videos were. So when people saw that video, they went to other videos and realized like, oh wow, like this guy, he's really doing the same type of content that actually went viral. So kind of got lucky there, I guess, in some sense. But yeah, if I could talk to my Nardvillain self 5 years ago and be like, bro, like you're gonna be EA partner in a few years and all this good stuff. Like, just keep grinding and you're gonna get there. Cause I just wanted to do it for fun and I just needed a creative outlet. I was slightly depressed a little bit, like not knowing what the
Yeah.
world's gonna go, where we're going with the world, where my work was going. Because not only did I do content for myself with the hospitality industry, but I worked in the industry as well as a videographer and a photographer. So, I was kind of getting a pay cut
Yeah.
deduction from not having clients in that niche. But fortunately I had other clients that was outside of that niche as well. So I was lucky there, but yeah, I would have never known like I was gonna, have a community that really appreciated the content that I put out, especially in the earlier years.
Yeah, that's really good to think about because the pandemic 2020, just that a whole era was really much of a fever dream. And of course, we all were going through stuff. Our favorite things we couldn't go to anymore, and we had to find
Mhm.
like that creative outlet. And I can totally agree with you. I graduated in the pandemic in 2020, and I was looking for a job as everyone was who graduates high
Mhm.
school. But then, of course, when you can't really find that moment, that place where you can go to every day or every couple of days for a certain amount of hours, it's hard to like find like that new avenue of fun. And YouTube is like that place of fun. And I think we all started, like you mentioned, that you wanted to find a creative outlet, something that was fun and silly and exciting, and now like it's kind of like your job that you get to do. And so like what drove you to the decision to like solely focus on like making short form content to like versus long form content, because this ever growing evolving social media landscape where new platforms or now old platforms are pushing short form, but also are kind of seeing how short form can help your long form. So how did you like take that approach, especially with making TikTok as your first platform to make short form?
I was actually a little skeptical at first, and also stubborn, because I just felt like I would be crippled a little bit on being able to be creative because I love long form a lot, but I knew that everybody was pushing it. I mean, Gary V,
Yeah.
all the gurus of the algorithm was like, you better hop on this platform, you better hop on short form because this is giving the audience or the world just a tiny snippet of what they can expect if they do decide to start rocking with you and like following you for your long form or just for you in general. So it did take me quite a bit. I was stubborn, but I don't regret hopping on TikTok because TikTok, even at the beginning stages, was a grind. I mean, it was like I was posting like 4 or 5 times a day.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 to 5 times a day, every day, 7 days a week. I was pushing out short form content.
That
Like
is
it
like
was,
a that's like a
yeah,
full-time job. My gosh.
yeah, I'm insane. I will work at my normal job. Well, I work for myself, so I would like put in 8, 9 hours of work, then another 9 hours of just content creating. Even if it was just like, let me just give out one piece of valuable information about The Sims 4, vertical video. I'm gonna produce it. It's still gonna look good quality. If I can get 2 to 3 pieces out, even 5 on a good day, every day I should be able to somehow trigger the algorithm. Because back then the algorithm was a little bit different. It encouraged you to post 4 to 5 times a day. So yeah, it was crazy. And then eventually, yeah, some videos go viral, and so at that point, I was like, I should probably take advantage of this. I should probably utilize TikTok a little bit more than YouTube. And then all of a sudden, YouTube introduced Shorts. But then at that time, I was already slightly blowing up more on TikTok than I was on YouTube. And I think I think when you post short form, it definitely guarantees a little bit more of a bigger reach. And then it'll get seen a lot more, and sometimes it will translate to subscribers and followers. And then it's
Mhm.
just how you utilize that next. Do you continue to do the same thing that kind of went viral, or do you kind of branch off and start doing other things? And do you pivot your long form to kind of represent what you're doing over on your short form platform as well? If that makes sense. Because you can't have a total different vibe with your short form, but then when it go over to your long form, it's totally different. I've learned the hard way on that too. So now I'm currently pivoting to make sure my short form matches with my long form. At least that's
Mm.
what I'm trying to do now. That's my new approach. But
Mm,
yeah,
that's
totally don't regret it. Was definitely stubborn at the beginning, trying to hop on, but I'm so glad I did because TikTok has been a huge blessing for me. Every time I go out, I think most people know me from my TikTok versus YouTube and Instagram and Twitch. So yeah, it's been a very blessing journey. Not easy, in my opinion, but a very humbling and blessing journey for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I can 100% agree with you. With time and effort, you really do see the reward at the end of the
Hmm.
day. And they always say Rome was not built in a day. You
My
know,
goodness.
making content online it's a grind. It really is a grind. You can spend hours on end, one from pre-production to actually doing it and then post-production,
Hmm.
because you come up with the concept, you want to make sure that things are aligned on how you want to convey the video or the message or whatever, and then you actually shoot it and you realize that like there's some tweaks you want to make while filming, so you make those tweaks, and then when you're into the editing process there's a lot more that goes into it. the audio, the
Mhm.
video, the visuals, and then here comes the marketing side of it all. And on how
Yep.
do you want to market your video? What kind of audience do you want to market to? The title, the thumbnail, the description, the tags, and then overall, not just posting it, but also sharing it across other platforms. And that kind of goes same with like short form because TikTok was kind of like a very like I would say like the big boom of of like social media content because Vine was like the original, at
Mhm.
least for me, was the original short form platform that I consumed constantly. Those 7 seconds, I'm like, okay, go to the next one, the next one, then the next one. Like Liza Koshy was like one of my favorite content creators on Vine that I really kind of like hung on to, especially when Vine went away. I followed that creator to the next platform that they were on because I was so invested in their content. And yours is so good because the way
Thank you.
that you structure your videos, it's not only hilarious, it's also educational at the same time. You give us something entertaining while also teaching us something like I didn't know half of this about MC Command Center, or I didn't know about this certain feature in this pack, or this like new feature function that we just got recently. I'm like, when was this a thing? I've been playing Sims 4 for almost 11 years now. It'll be 11 years this year in 2025, but I've been playing Sims for 25 years and the stuff that you showcase and like, am I even a simmer at this point? Should I just quit while I'm already here? But you definitely changed the game for new and old players to make the game fun for them at the end of the day. And I did want to ask you a question because this is something that is very signature to your brand identity, like the whole deg deg
Mhm.
catchphrase. We all know that deg deg means like goodbye in a more positive way, but since you are Nardvillain, you make it very sinister, like deg deg. It's like something's happening. So like what was the origin story like behind that signature catchphrase and how did it help build your brand to where it's at now?
Honestly, I want to definitely give credit to all those who were following me or not even following me at the very beginning because I think they are the reason I am the way I am today currently because I will post something, see how it sticks and resonate with the audience of the TikTok world or the YouTube world, and if they are vibing with that type of content, then I know okay, maybe I should like maybe gear towards that style of content and keep pushing. So yeah, I would just do my thing. I would say, all right, I'm gonna create a video of somebody jumping into a swimming pool and then just immediately drown in first person mode. So not only are you learning that you can actually be in first person mode in The Sims 4, but you can also see that happen. You can see your sim, you can watch your sim drown in first person mode. And so you're learning all this stuff. And then at the very end, I'm just like, dag, dag. I don't know why in particular I said it that way, but every comment, I kid you not, there's at least 100 comments that just said, "Oh my god, that dag dag. Why do I feel threatening from that dag dag?" Or it's like, "Why is that dag dag kind of like that?" Or whatever. Or this supposed to be a happy video. Why's your dag dag a little sinister? And then or something like that. And so yeah, I said dag dag once in a video, and I got over 100 some comments about me saying dag. They didn't say anything about the video. They just said, "Oh my god, that dag dag," or just dag dag in the comments. And this was literally like 3 years ago. So I've been doing the dag dag signature. I would say probably a span of like 3 to 3.5 years ago, maybe even 4 now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, some reason the dag dag is sticking. So let me try to add that in some more videos. And sure enough, every time I said dag dag, it made people feel a certain way, or at least made people comment dag dag, or why's your dag dag so ominous, or why's your dag dag so like sinister. So and yeah, I just stuck with it. So like I said, it was the community. The community. Because at first, before dag dag, it was actually the word on the street. Every video, I would say the word on the street is, and everybody was like, will comment the word on the street, the word on the street in the comments. So I knew there was something there. So I just said, all right, every other video, I'm gonna include the word on the street, and that combination of the word on the street and dag dag, people just started resonating with it. And then it was reaching the right people who like that sinister style of video content. And
Mm,
like you said, while learning something educational. So yeah,
yeah.
I did not plan Dag Dag to be my signature tagline. It was because of the community.
I mean,
All my
hey,
success to them.
honestly, the community really comes together as like as a whole saying we love this and we love
Hmm.
that. And then when we see it's like, okay, I guess people like it, we'll keep doing it. And honestly, the community supports us in so many ways that we cannot imagine. It's like we make content online just to do whatever we want and we enjoy it, but we never expect it to go anywhere or people to actually see it. But when people actually resonate with the content, it's like we are doing something very memorable as a
Exactly.
creator and we are able to showcase something that's not being showcased out in like the big screens and whatnot because you come from a background in hospitality and film and photography. And so your skill sets really have amplified your content to be a lot better, but also still staying like niche and close to you.
Hmm.
So I find like with the Sims community specifically is that we have been around for I feel like for 10,000 years at this point. I mean, honestly, like with The Sims, we have seen the ups and downs of this industry and the ups and downs of the Sims game itself, from The Sims 1 to The Sims 4. And now that we're getting so many new things with packs and kits, and now eventually a Sims movie one day and new Sims products, is like the marketing of The Sims has changed, and we still have that silly, fun playness to it. And I actually wanted to know, like, what like initially drew you to The Sims? Like, what was like your earliest memory playing the game?
Earliest memory was back in high school. I'm about to date myself and be considered a very old, young, elderly person. I would say high school back in maybe 2000, 2001. Probably playing The Sims, the very original version of The Sims. Actually ended up getting the deluxe copy, but I think at one point I had the original copy as well. I don't know if I owned it or perhaps downloaded it from Napster or somebody gave it to me or whatever. But either way, I do have a copy of the deluxe album copy. I think what drew me to it was the ability to create storylines and have the almost unlimited amount of creativity. Meaning I can literally take some Sims and create all these beautiful stories around my imagination. Because before The Sims, believe it or not, I used to play with GI Joes. I had wrestling figurines, and I had this little talk boy from Home Alone 2 that was very popular. And I had a radio that I would literally record my voice on a radio or the talk boy. Again, giving outdating myself here or dating myself. Um, and it would record my voice doing narrations of me playing with my GI Joes or and my wrestling figurines. So before The Sims, I was already creating these stories around my imagination as a kid. So, and then after I recorded on this little cassette tape, I would go back and play it and just listen to myself narrate me playing with my wrestlers or my GI Joes or whatever. It was crazy. It's bizarre. Moving to 2001, this game, The Sims, came out, gave me a better option than just physically playing with toys. Now I can literally sit on my computer and do um, all this narration, all this storytelling on a computer. At that time, I wasn't obviously recording myself narrating, but I still had that imagination of being able to create stories with The Sims. Then obviously Sims 2 came out, and then Sims 3, which I didn't get a chance to play because of my computer. Then after Sims 3, I got Sims Free Play on my mobile phone. And then after Sims Free Play, I got Sims 4. Then went back to Sims 3 and played Sims 3 for a little bit. But yeah, that's my story. And then once I realized once the pandemic happened, I can kind of relive my childhood again and just like narrate these cool little moments of storytelling and create and use my imagination to create these fun stories and utilize my skill sets, which is videography, video editing, and I guess just storytelling, directing, producing, and writing these cool little stories that hopefully could entertain at that time a small community. Because I didn't care about reaching a large mass of people. I just wanted to, if like 10 people enjoyed my little stories of like Velma going around and doing crazy stuff, or my little skits of characters being unalived in a funny way, or even my little skits, I was happy. I feel like I'm reaching a couple people that needed to see it and got a laugh out of it and made their day. So yeah, I've been basically involved with The Sims at some capacity for over 20 years. I'll say 25.
Hmm, I
So,
like that. Like you mentioned that you had like your GI Joes and your action
mhm.
figures and you would record yourself. I really love that. A natural born storyteller. When you think about it, we all storytell,
Mhm.
and whether we make content or not, we're always making content in some shape or form, acting out different arguments or happy
Mhm.
moments or sad moments. And it's like thinking like The Sims is our virtual like play set that we can relive our childhood, whether in The Sims 4 or in The Sims 2, Sims 3, or even Sims 1. I mean, now that they've re-released The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 on EA app and Steam, there's now a whole new of like players around the world that can play it for the very first time, or people who have either sold or have forgotten can replay it like they were as kids. And making content for other people online does come with some scary mindsets because you never really know who's really watching, or you never know if it's going to perform well, or
Right.
you feel like you're alone in this business because when you're content creating, there's so many ideas in your head, like your brain really attacks you at this point of like thinking, oh, no one's gonna watch, no one's really gonna like really have fun with this, and I just feel like I'm alone in this industry and I have no one else to talk to. And honestly, that's kind of why I made this podcast, to like really talk to other creators, but
Mhm.
also peel back that curtain of like what we're really going through on a day-to-day basis, whether we do it full-time or part-time. I think, like, what have been some of your like your major highs as being a content creator, like since starting?
All right, let's start with the highs. All right. So for me, because you nailed it, like the whole point of feeling lonely, which I appreciate you with this podcast. That's why it's really nice to find outlets to not feel lonely, whether it's a Discord server or just having a group text of fellow creators that have the same mindset that you got, that you can feed off information to, so you don't feel lonely. It's because a lot of, like you said, a lot of times we don't really share those vulnerable moments of what it really is being a content creator. So I love embracing the highs, and I got to learn to understand how to cope with the lows. Like
Mm,
highs for me has been like getting my first like 100 followers on YouTube, to finally getting 1,000 on TikTok, or even like my first million. I know these are like milestones for like analytic base, but then there's like moments where highs for me are when someone comments in the comment section saying, I look forward to seeing your video pop up on my feed every week. Like, you literally made my day. You don't understand how much of a laugh I needed today, and you provided that for me. Because a lot of times those funny videos and those skits are like a hit or miss. It's literally like you're about to walk on stage and do a stand up act, and you don't know how the audience is going to react. And if it bombs, it bombs. You go right back to the drawing board. You write another comedy act, and then you go back out there day two and see if it works. That's the thing about certain types of content you do. I can go out and do a how to do this in MC Command Center, and that might get views, or it will get views. Versus I'm about to do a skit that I'm gonna spend 2-3 days on, and because it has a humor element, it's either gonna hit or it's not gonna hit. And there, trust me, there's been times that they flop. But yeah, highs are just like engaging with the community, like knowing like even though sometimes it feels like a lonely journey, you do have people out there that might not voice their appreciation to you and their gratitude towards you. But they're out there, and when they do vocalize it, it's like a great feeling. It's a high. A high sometimes could even be hitting that upload button, like hitting the upload, like, wow, I understand that it took me an hour to write the script, or it took me before the script, it took me an hour to come up with the title and the thumbnail. I think of content creating as a movie. Like,
Mm,
okay, I'm gonna create a title first because the title is gonna give me an idea of what the concept is gonna be about. So that way I can write my script, write my lines or whatever. And then I might even do a photo cover album. So that way the cover album can match the title of my movie and then go forward. Um, but yeah, highs have been great. Like highs are like co-hosting the 25th anniversary stream that The Sims did back in February. Super high. That was really cool to be part of that. That's something that's gonna never happen again. We're never gonna see another 25th anniversary as a Sims franchise. So I was part of that, which is super cool. Um Being approached by the EA team and the Sims team to collab with them and do stuff, that's a high. Another high could be just bonding with the community on Twitch or bonding with your community in Discord and having like game nights and meeting people for the first time. That's a high, because again, it's a lonely journey. I ain't gonna say a lonely journey. It can be a lonely journey if you don't put the proper protocols in your life to make it not as lonely. But yeah,
mm.
those are a couple of highs. I can be very long winded with these questions, and I do apologize, but there's just a
No.
lot of highs, like, and they're humbling because when you're so high up, you can get low too, and you have to figure out, well, how to manage your lows when you're having those lows, which is sometimes just remembering the highs, remember your journey because everybody's journey is going to be different. Some people might have it easier than others, and that's not for your concern. It's just be inspired by other people's journeys, but don't let it like ruin your opportunities to stay focused. Always stay on your path and be encouraged and inspired by other creators, but just be you because your flock will find you eventually. There'll be some people out there. So yeah, I think that's a high for me too. Is just knowing that I am hopefully inspiring others, no matter what age they are, what race, what sex, what gender, they can do it too. Because I might represent and look like somebody or have the same interests of somebody that been wanting to do this, and now they see that I'm doing it. Now they can do it too.
I like that. That's very powerful because a lot of people think that making content stops at a certain age or you can't do this because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Like, no,
Right.
anyone can create content no matter how old they are, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what they look like, no matter what their sex or gender might be. And it's like, just have fun with what you're doing and like push all the haters out the way. Sure, haters will come, that's a part of, being a content creator. You
Mm-hmm.
see them, but we try our best to push away the negativity and bring back the positivity and light and enjoyment of what we do.
Exactly.
And I wanted to know, like, because you've been doing this for so long, like on YouTube and like pre-YouTube, I mean, working in a professional like environment, you have a bunch of like haters and people that will say certain things. Like, how do you protect your creativity when it starts to just like feel like work rather than fun? Because when you're working so much of like your creative like craft of photography or film or making short form content or writing out scripts, like you're a literal director at this point and you're making so many creative things. Like, how do you protect your passion, your creativity so it doesn't feel like work?
That's a great question because over the 20 years of content creating, I've been pivoting a lot when it comes to the type of content that I do. I mean, I do my passions for work. Like, I mean, I love film, I love video, I love video editing, I love podcasting, I love hosting and being in front of the camera. So I do it for fun, but I also do it for work. So what I try to do, because it does start to feel like work a lot, is try to do the things that you can do that doesn't feel like you're trying to do it to get views or do it for a paycheck, like there's times where I will play WWE 2K and create wrestler Sims characters into that game, and instead of worrying about, okay, I wanted to perform, I wanted to do this and that, then I would just do that for me. You got to do things for you too, like whether even if it's like going for a hike or do some hobbyish stuff, come back to your content creating to get that more of a fresher look at what you do. Because a lot of times when you start doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you have a schedule, you have a posting schedule, it will initially start feeling like work. But keep in mind, having schedules and doing something that's repetitive and consistent does feel like that. But it's just a way of being more mature in your niche and your craft. You have to have some type of self discipline, to continue to do stuff and to make it, and to grow. So it will feel like work a lot. So what I try to do is try to, like I said, just try to do things that's probably same in within the same like content creating, but just do stuff fun, different, pivot a little bit, and just do stuff that I want to do that I know may or may not work with the audience or the algorithm, whatever. And just do things that are fun. So that way when I get back into the stuff that works, it doesn't feel as work. It's feel like it's almost a balance. I don't know if that makes sense. Like do the stuff that works, but
Yeah.
then also put out some stuff, that's fun. And for me, I like streaming. Streaming to me is like another outlet where I can just be with my community. I don't have to worry about views. I don't have to worry about subscribers or whatever. I can just hang out with my community and just decompress with them. And to me, that doesn't feel like work. That just feels like my moment to kind of relax a little bit.
I like that because,
I'm
like,
still learning though. I'm
yeah,
still learning how to find that balance of how to not make things feel like work when it's supposed to be fun.
yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because when you're doing it for so long, things do tend to feel like work, but then you have to take a step back and realize, "Wait, what am I doing all this for? Am I doing it for the
Mhm.
money? Am I doing it for, my pure enjoyment? Like, what am I doing this for at the end of the day?"
Mhm.
And sometimes you gotta, like, really take a couple of days off just to, like, do literally nothing, whether it's just sitting
Right.
in a room in the dark with your inner thoughts, which can be scary sometimes,
Mhm.
but sometimes you just gotta do that, and, like, having those moments where you have hobbies outside of your work, whether it's reading a book or doing crocheting for the very first time, taking a hike, like you said, or being able just to find those inner fun moments of playing video games, not having to record it, or just, like, record it and then post it if you want to, but it was something
For
for
you.
you at the
Right.
end of the day, rather than, like, other people. Sure, it may not perform well, that is okay. You did it for you, and I think I wanna really, like, emphasize, like, you are the creator. You make content for you. Other things
Love
come
that.
afterwards because people get into the mindset newer and older creators always think, like, how am I performing? How am I doing all these different things? How can I stay relevant in this day and age? Because social media is constantly changing every single day, every minute, every hour of the day. And it's so hard to constantly think of, like, how do I make the algorithm like my content? Am I shadow banned? How do I reach out to brands? How do I really make a name for myself? And it all boils down to you and you, and, like, just make content for you, put you into your content, not make a, like, a fake persona or a fake you so you can be likable. Because no
Right.
one likes fake people. No one
Exactly.
does.
Just be
Um
you, have fun. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly, exactly, and that's why I find these platforms are great in many different ways. TikTok, for what it is, has done so many wonders for so many people, and it's changed people's lives for the better. I found content on TikTok that I didn't even know existed, and I'm like, I didn't know I was interested in. Like, randomly scrolling through the feed, the algorithm started giving me, like, horse content, but it was people like shaving the hooves of
Oh,
horses' feet.
oh
And
my
I'm
god, me
like,
too.
it's
Yeah.
so interesting, right? Like it's
I
so
sit there and watch it
relaxing.
too. I'll watch it. I'm
Yeah,
like, man, why am I watching somebody shave the thing off the horseshoes? It's so
right.
calming and relaxing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, does it hurt the horse? How does it work? I want to
Mhm.
understand a little bit more about it. It's like so I just keep liking and liking and liking
Mhm.
and like this is just like the best
That's
thing.
so
That's
funny.
why it's so good. TikTok
I love that.
short form content is just great for our short attention spans. Um, but I always felt as like with content so like changing, we also change as people. Like we grow with our content, we mature with our content. And like, did you ever like have this moment where you thought, "Hey, I've done all these things before YouTube, and now I'm doing YouTube." Like, did you ever really like? Do you see it like growing even more in like the next like 5 years? Like, where do you see your content uh, like evolving?
Yeah, I honestly feel like I went from like regular let's plays to little short skits to build challenges on YouTube. I do those 10-minute build challenges to streaming, back to YouTube, back to shorts and short form or whatnot. I'm trying my best to just see what the audience want while still trying to maintain a brand and just do things that I enjoy doing. And then I think in like the next few years, I kind of see me doing a combination of everything that's made me Nardvillian, but in more of a longer, polished form to where you can
Hmm.
just sit down and just watch like a show of just like well produced, thought out skits, combination of edutainment and a combination of like interacting with the audience all put to one. I feel like as I evolved as a content creator, I just keep thinking of like what's new and what can I do that still remains my brand identity while making sure that when the algorithm change or whatever, I still can continue to be me while pivoting to what people might want. And people have short attention spans, so if I can add in all those things that I'm already doing for shorts and stuff into my longer form, I can grab those short attention span folks and bring them into the long form and then prove to the algorithm that it's possible to bring short form over to long form. It's just how you do it in a way to please both already existing long form but also newcomers to the long form content because they came from the short form. And to me, I think it's just hooking the audience every so often throughout your long form videos in the fashion that they were watching shorts. So when I do like my how tos, I'm thinking of like in the next 5 years or so, I want to be able to do all that where utilizing all my short form strategies into my long form. So that way I feel like I can benefit from doing shorts and long form at the same time while both audiences from both long form and short form are hopefully watching the all the content. And hopefully have a team. It'd be nice to evolve into the point where I do have somebody that can help me edit, potentially write stuff. I think that'd be really cool to see myself grow into that type of outlet.
Mm.
And in hopes of even creating just a new team of creators that want to work together as a collective. I so far I don't think I've seen a collective yet where it's like a collective of people who are on one channel and they just do all kinds of fun Sims 4 chaotic stuff all together as one collective. That would be really cool to see because you see it all the time with other groups like, RDC, they're one big group.
Yeah.
Um just like you know what I mean? Like just groups where they kind of come together and do content together. Whether it's
Yeah.
streaming or is producing film or comedy skits. I would love to see that with the Sims community. So I would love to
Yeah.
see myself evolving into something like that outside of the Nardvillain niche.
Mm. I would
Yeah, that'd
like
be
to see that
cool.
as well, honestly, because this was like I don't know, a couple of years ago, this was like pre-pandemic, of seeing a lot of content creator groups
Mhm.
from the, I guess, like the lifestyle category to the comedy category, and like some gamings like OTK and like some of the other like gaming uh brands and companies. I see a lot of that on YouTube and like on Twitch, and then these organizations all come in, but I never see anything for like sim creators or like
Mhm.
cozy gamers. And it will be so cool to see that. Because with The Sims, it's all about playing with life. You're able to create whatever you want, however you want, with mods or no mods, but you
Mhm.
have to use that creative spin to really make it like exciting to watch or just like
Yeah.
exciting for you at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And I mentioned like you are like a full-blown director. You have like a green screen, you do all the editing, you'll do all the scripting, like you are making a full-on production. It's like I could see it Nardvillain Productions as like a film like company of some type down the line the next couple of years, or even who knows, even now actually. Get yourself on IMDb, put all
Mhm.
of your skits on there. Like you can really make something that people are not making. And for the next like past like I feel like the past several years, we've seen the industry, both gaming industry and film industry, change so much in terms of like representation and like having black, actors and black creators in the leading role and in the forefront and in the decision rooms making these choices. Like, what would you want to see in terms of like having more people that look like us in the room making these films? Like Tyler Perry, for example, he is so talented at making his films and his production company. My first inspiration was Denzel Washington. There's Viola
Mhm.
Davis. There's
Yep.
Angela Bassett. There's just so many people, like Chadwick. Like
Mhm.
he
Oh my god, yeah.
may rest in peace. Like he was talented in Black Panther. I loved how there were so many films in the past several years actually that has really changed the game in terms of we are here, we are bankable, we can really fill those seats, but then also seeing the game industry as a whole, especially with the Sims in the past 5 years,
Mhm.
we've gotten better skin tones thanks to X Mirror Mira. We've had, new hairstyles. They've collaborated with Ebonics, and we've had a
Yes.
lot more representation for people that look like us. So like what would you want to see in terms like for the Sims and I guess in the video game industry as a
Mhm.
whole? um, what would you wanna see, like, change?
I want to honestly see that it's more normal that we have more black represent or just people of color representation. I want it to be more
Yeah.
normal than a let's what do you call it when you have to fill out a get like 100 signatures. I feel like I
Yeah,
always see
petition.
like yeah, I always see that always coming across my feed where we want to see more black hairstyles. We want to see more black culture in video gaming.
Mhm.
Because I feel like I want it to be normal. Like I want to be able to just open up a game and see a very wide range of all kinds of cultural elements, versus
Yeah.
fighting for it all the time. Like why did it?
Mhm.
So I'm usually very soft spoken because I've learned that because when I was growing up, I've always dealt with like lack of confidence, I guess. You probably wouldn't believe this,
Same.
but
No,
but
same.
I have very low self-esteem at times and I don't vocalize a lot of things that I would love to see a lot more. Even as a larger brand now, I still feel like I struggle a little bit to voice my opinion about stuff without being like I don't know. But yeah, so I would love to just see that it's just it's just normal. Like I want to see more black video game creators, more directors, more people involved in the producing of games. Even with the
Yeah.
Sims games, it'd be kind of cool to see people like us in those positions, in those seats, because I know they're there. We just went to DreamCon, and there's like tons of people there who are inspired to be anime writers, who inspired to
Right.
be anime producers and stuff like that. I would have never known Megan Thee Stallion had an anime coming out, or the people who threw DreamCon were huge into anime. You see, I would have never known
Yeah.
any of that stuff. And like my favorite directors, like Jordan Peele. I like
Yes.
a lot of my skits are driven or inspired from stuff that I watched growing up or that
Mhm.
I inspired, like Dave Chappelle Show, Key and
Mhm.
Peele, Martin Lawrence, Fresh Prince, Sanford and Son from the 70s. So all that
Yes.
is because I can relate to those TV shows,
Mhm.
and I can relate to the style of Jordan Peele. So that's just, I don't know, because they kind of look like me, so I get inspired because it's like, wow, like if Martin Lawrence can just go in there and do all those characters with all that energy, let me try to do that in my skit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
or in Scary Movie with the Wayans brothers, like man, like that's just the
Yeah.
energy that I want to be like in my skits. Or
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor, like man, if he can just do that, like in a 2-month production, I can easily do this in an hour. You know what I mean? Like I get inspired by
Yeah.
seeing those people who I look up to do it. Makes me want to like do it. So I just want that stuff to be more of the norm. Like I want to see
Yeah.
familiar faces in these positions moving forward, whether it's gaming, whether it's um and not just my color. I want to see a wide range of people, like
Yes.
from different backgrounds and genders and sexes, or
Yeah.
non-binary folk too, like I just want to see
Yes.
that as the norm because it's nice to see that I can turn on YouTube and see a music video directed by a non-binary person,
Mhm.
or I like to see a whole fully on production of just women or something
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think we're on that direction of seeing that being possible. And I just want to be another example of others who are trying to be or enter in the niche of gaming content or being a gaming content creator or director. Like I want to be a reason for them to be like, if Nardvillian can do it, he's 40 some years old, black male from the United States of America. I don't know if his journey was easy or not, but he still was able to kind of somewhat do it. That inspires me. That should inspire me to at least try and do it. Yeah.
Mhm. All
The
the ladies
algorithm, it
said,
could be a little bit friendlier too, but that's a whole different topic. That's a whole different
yeah.
topic. I don't want to say it's always the algorithm's fault, but you do got to produce good content. But I do feel like it's a struggle sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Could be better, but
yeah,
they have
not,
moments.
right.
And on the topic, because you mentioned like you had a lot of inspirations for like directors and writers and like anime,
Hmm.
like with the video game industry, it's starting, at least I feel like it's been starting to do it for the past several years now. Because like my first introduction to a video game that turned into a movie that was huge was
Hmm.
The Super Mario movie. And of course there was also Sonic too, but I feel like it's now going to the video game movie pipeline. And now that we know that the Sims movie is happening, I'm just like, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Um,
At
I'm
least like what are your
excited for it.
hopes?
I'm excited for it, and I know is it Robbie Margot Robbie, right? Robbie Margot, right?
Margot
Wait.
Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know um she should be I guess executive producer on it.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of curious to see their direction on it, but I have done some research and I'm very excited to see if she decides to go along with some of the organizations she's involved with when it comes to booking talent, booking production talent, because I have done some
Mhm.
research and she does a lot with the LGBTQ plus community. So it would be nice to
Mhm.
see those positions filled in regards to
Yes.
production and stuff like that. But I'm more of a Black Mirror kind of guy. So I would love to see
Ooh.
The Sims on more of a darker approach, but I know that's not going to be taken very. I don't think the community and the audience is going to really perceive that well. So I
Mhm.
see the direction maybe going something similar to maybe Barbie with a little
Yeah.
twist, but or with like maybe a yeah, with a little, maybe with a little twist. But I'm excited either way because I think they might try to throw some lore in there, but I feel like they have to. I feel like they would have to
Yeah.
throw in some lore throughout the franchise of The Sims, not just Sims 4, but like through its like lifespan. Like if they're gonna
Yeah.
go with lore, I feel like they can do their own lore as well. But I honestly feel like they could probably go lots of ways with the approach, the direction. But I'm actually excited because obviously we're all Sims fans. I don't want to go in there with high hopes yet until I like maybe see exactly what they're who's like in it, like what's at least see the first trailer. Let me get the first
Yeah.
trailer reaction. But I am excited. I would love to be a cameo. If you're listening,
Hey.
like all I want is a dag dag. Give me a dag dag in there, or you know something.
Hey.
So but I'm really curious to see what storyline they go with. I think they might do like a simulation world meets real world kind of vibe, kind of like Barbie, but it's already been done. So maybe they won't go with that approach and just strictly just do a simulation world with like some drama. So
Mm-hmm.
they can take it anywhere. I'm just really excited to see what direction they take. But I do like the
Yeah.
approach that that the film industry is kind of branching out and doing some video games turned to film.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did it with Resident Evil. They've done
Yes.
it with Last of Us. Apparently, that was a game
Mm-hmm.
turned TV show, and like you mentioned, Mario Brothers, Sonic, um, Mortal Kombat. I remember they did
Oh
Mortal
yeah,
Kombat
that's
movie
right.
back in the 90s. That was like my
Yep.
very first movie ever, or my first video game that I've noticed went to the film was Mortal Kombat. And I went and
Mm.
saw that, and that was dope. So I was excited because you could take those storylines anywhere as long as you got the characters. So, but the norm of video gaming move film is that they do decide they will give characters from the game. So I feel like that's got to be a given. They got to give us a Bella Goth or maybe Sims 4 characters, a Nancy Landgrab. Oh, actually, Nancy's been in there. What Sims 2 and 3?
Sims
The
One.
Landgrabs. Oh,
They've
what?
been
That's right. That's
they've been
right.
around
And
for a
Sims 1.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. So they got to give us the Landgrabs and the Goth family. Maybe some people from Sims 3, Sims 2, maybe Sims 4. The pancakes would be cool to
Yeah.
see them or so yeah, it's cool. They got to give us some characters, but yeah, to
Yeah.
answer your question, I'm really excited to see The Sims be part of the film franchise. So,
Oh, I am excited.
hmm
I keep saying we as simmers, it's in our job title. We
yes,
bought the game or not bought the game, however you got it. It is our job that we have to go see the Sims movie
hmm
and make it bigger than Avatar. Because I think the
hmm
highest movie in box office is Avatar 1. And I'm like, we got to make it bigger. We have to at least hit 2 point, I think 5 or 6 billion dollars in the box office. We just got to do it. We just got to do
hmm
it.
Now, yeah, now think about it though. Just like Super Mario Brothers and Sonic, now people have been rocking with The Sims for 25 years.
Yeah,
And I think it can compete because
yeah,
it's got a large audience for sure. Even
it
if they
does.
don't play The Sims anymore, everybody's acknowledged what The Sims are. If you've been born from, if you're from at least from 2000 to current, like you should know what The Sims is by
Yeah.
far. So,
At least someone has mentioned it
mhm,
to you, or you've seen it in
yeah,
some type of a way. You'll hear Sims music in random reality TV
mm-hmm,
shows. I'm like, is that a Sims song? I know
mm-hmm,
what that is.
mm-hmm,
And I feel like we're in good hands
yeah,
for the movie because Margot Robbie's production company, Lucky Chap, is producing it,
mm-hmm,
and then Kate Heron is directing and also
nice,
co-writing it with, Bryony Redman.
mm,
So and they lean more towards, like, comedy, but then, of course, Kate Heron has directed, season 1 of Loki, the Disney Plus series from
mm,
Marvel. She did episode 4 of The Last of Us season 2, and then also did Sex Education and also Doctor Who. So there's a lot
this
of
is nice.
good mixture of
Mm-hmm,
things that I think could really make this movie different than Barbie, but then also give us what we need as Sims players to understand, okay, there's some lore that we all recognize, but then also stuff from people who have never heard of the Sims like at all.
mm-hmm,
So I feel like there's probably a good mixture
yeah.
between the both audiences, hopefully. And the way they're gonna
Now,
market it
yeah, now
should be
what
good.
3 key elements you need the Sims movie to have though? It's gotta have these 3 elements for you at least.
Oh my gosh, they need one first, they need to have Mother. Bella
Mhm.
Goth,
Mhm.
always. They need to have at least some type of moment of a plumb bob, maybe
Mm.
somewhere
Mhm.
in the moment, and I would think, honestly, Simlish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some type of Simlish somewhere. Like, what would be yours? Like, non-negotiables?
I would say some form of, like, if you know moments, like some
Mm,
in-game mechanics, like
yeah.
somebody cooking up a grilled cheese sandwich, or just those little gameplay moments that no matter which franchise, like no matter which game you rock with, you would know, like, okay, grilled cheese, or reference, maybe Bobby Pancakes and them are in the movie, but they reference the pancakes or something,
Yeah.
Simlish for sure. And if they can throw in like a random, like maybe like a just a random thing that will only happen in The Sims, like a rocket ship, woohoo rocket ship moment, or like that. I'm referencing Sims 4 there, but or even like the Grim Reaper showing up somewhere
Yeah.
and reaping. That would be really funny. Just to see what reaping will look like in 2025 or 2026 or whenever the movie drops. What would reaping look like? Is he going to be on an iPad, or is he calling in from a phone?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or is he just
Right.
or is it all just digital? Can he just like somehow appear, or just like virtually just be on the computer and type it in later or something like that? So it'd be just kind of cool
Mhm.
to see those in-game mechanics. And then lastly, I would say, yeah, give me Bella Goth, or a few characters that really represents the franchise would be ideal for
It
sure.
would be. Yeah.
Mhm. A
It's
gnome or
also
two.
oh, yes, a
Mhm.
gnome. Always gotta have a gnome. Always. Evil
Mhm.
ones too. Um, I feel like it wouldn't even be The Sims without the Grim Reaper, and that's
Yeah.
where you get your cameo. Imagine if you get the
My
opportunity to be the
gosh.
Grim Reaper,
That
and
would
like
be so great.
you just like do whatever you want, really reap the souls, and you'd be like, "Dag, dag," and it's like,
That would
"Wait
be
a minute,
so great.
that's
Yeah.
Nardvillain. We know who that is."
Yeah. They wouldn't
I'm
even need me to be the Grim Reaper. I can just voice that.
exactly because
They could do
Grim
it
doesn't
digitally.
really talk as much in the
Mm-mm.
game,
No.
so that could be your way in.
Yes.
Yes,
I hope y'all listening.
manifesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna manifest that. That'd be dope.
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, I have some good rapid fire questions I want to ask you.
Yes.
So,
All right.
you've been playing Sims for a very long time. What is your favorite Sims pack? Now, this could be like any iteration of The Sims.
Mhm. I'm gonna stick with Sims 4 though, and go with City Living. Love City Living.
Mm, okay, good. Late night build or early morning gameplay?
Late night build for sure. It just hit
Okay.
different.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. That's true. What is your go-to CC creator or must-have mod?
Ooh, my go-to CC creator is probably Dicka, Little Dicka, because I like his modern build. I love his modern CC, especially the kitchen one, and I think there's a
Yes.
living room set that's just like a vibe. For mods, I would definitely say I can't live without my MC Command Center.
Can't live without it. Can't live without it at all. What's one simmer you would love to collaborate with on a skit?
Oh, a skit? Simmer though. Let's see.
Or anyone.
Oh, you know what? Dr. Gluon. I mean, I think that'd be
Yeah.
hella cool to see Dr. Gluon in a skit. Hit me up, Dr.
Yes.
Gluon. I think that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be fun. And of
Yeah.
course, Spring Sims. Come on now. We
I
gotta do our
mean,
thing too.
yes, definitely. And one last quick rapid fire. Dag Dag or Sul Sul?
You already know. Dag. Dag, dag.
Awesome sauce. Well, this was really fun. I had so much fun having you on the podcast. I hope that you would love to make another return
Oh,
if you ever would
yes.
like to, of course.
Yes.
Um, but where can everyone find you and support your lovely Sinister Simmers work?
All things Nardvillain. Pushing YouTube and TikTok quite a bit. So definitely follow me over there on YouTube and TikTok at Nardvillain. Also Instagram, and I stream every Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time over on Twitch. And I also have a X and Threads and Blue Sky and even a Reddit. Also a Discord channel. So all things Nardvillain, plus my merch, bonfire.com/store. If you want to go check out some of my merch, all at Nardvillain.
Good. I will put everything linked down below in the show notes and even the
Yes.
description so that way
Yes.
everyone can go support you. And any last words or shout outs you would like to give to upcoming creators?
Yes. I just want to say, like, definitely take care of your mental health even during the low moments, because to be successful, you really do have to really be consistent, but don't lose yourself just being always consistent, because you can kind of lose yourself. You can go into a dark place. Just remember your journey when you are in your lows, because any little milestone, a like on a post, or you made somebody's day could go a long way. So just remember your journey when you're in your lows, and just remember why you're doing it, because you're doing it because you have value to give to your audience or your community, or you just enjoy doing this because you love the craft that you do, which is playing the Sims or building or creating CC or creating Sims or creating some fun gameplay for your community. So yeah, just remember to just take care of your mental space, and just remember, even though people aren't vocal about being appreciative, there are a lot of people out there that appreciate your content, and comparison is the thief of joy. So be inspired, and don't be jealous, just be inspired. And there will be people that probably potentially will not like you, and that's okay. Because as you grow, there will be a lot of people that aren't going to like you. They're going to be people in your comments saying all kinds of crazy stuff. I can't
Mm,
even count how many times people called me insane, or didn't like the way I presented something, or called me a racist slur or a name or whatever. That's going to
mhm.
happen as a public figure. So just ignore that stuff, and have
Yeah.
fun, and keep that plumb bob green.
Yes. And with all that being said, we will see you all next time. And dag.
Dag, dag.
So that is a wrap on today's episode of Hello Spring. A big dag and a thank you to Nardvillain for joining me and letting us peek behind the curtain of their Sims universe. From short form skits to long form chaos, and a community that thrives on authenticity and humor, Nardvillain is proof that embracing your creative voice can take you places you've never imagined, even if your Sims accidentally set their kitchen on fire. So be sure to follow Nardvillain on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places for more Plumbob powered storytelling. And don't forget to ask yourself, what color is your plumb bob today? Until next time, stay curious, stay cozy, and always, dag dag.